What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about 3 different cryptos in today's video. We're going to talk about, in order, Swiftcoin, MoonWell, and XYO. Those 3. Swiftcoin, MoonWell, XYO at the end. Hit the like button, subscribe, and let's get into it. It's been a while since we talked about Swiftcoin, and it's odd, the coincidence, that Swiftcoin is pumping today the same day that Onyx Coin is also pumping. XCN is pumping. Now, XCN's only up 20%, where Swiftcoin's up a whole 32% on today. There's a lower market cap with Swiftcoin versus Onyx Coin as well, but it's kind of interesting how they both run in tandem, isn't it? Isn't it kind of interesting? I think it's interesting, and the charts look very similar as well. Anyways, looking at the daily time frame here, very bearish RSI. This is the strongest reading we've seen in quite some time, and while that is nice, we could be finding resistance at the same areas that we found resistance before. Don't get overzealous, right? We are at the wicking high finding resistance right here where we found resistance before in October. So, and likely, with Swiftcoin, all these pumps that we've had really since April 11th, a lot of these pumps get given back into. So don't be surprised if from a high to a low, we pull back to 0.005, 0.056, 0.044, somewhere in that area. It's very possible. We look at the 1 hour time frame, and we see here that you actually have a very nice looking RSI at the moment. Stochastics are suggesting we go higher, and so is the MACD. We don't have bearish divergence at this point, but it does look like there is some turbulence right at these areas of resistance. Again, that line up very well with prior areas of resistance back here. I wonder if it's even areas of support as well. Kind of just below this area of support, like right in this area nonetheless though, right? Some turbulence back here, nothing really else to go off of. We could push higher, and if we do push higher than this high, if we go up to like 208, same kind of thought. Don't get overzealous. We probably do pull back to some degree, but if we're looking at this, oops, from a low to a high, you kind of have, you've already had your pullback. So this puts Swiftcoin in an interesting position, right? Do you need to consolidate more? You've already pulled back all the way down to your 786, and now you're back to your 236. Maybe you pull back to 0047 to find support of your golden ratio, but I do think this is the beginning of something that pushes higher. And looking at this on the 1 hour time frame, I would think that it's in a short amount of time that we do push higher. You're probably not going to consolidate for too long. That's nice. It's kind of reassuring. A little bit of bearish divergence on the 4 hour time frame, whatever. Make that move down. It's not that significant to the downside. You'll still be up net positive on the day. MACD's crossing above the zero. Stochastics are here. I have a theory about the 4 hour MACD crossing above the zero, and it doesn't work every time, but it works a good bit of the time, where when you cross above the zero, we start to consolidate for about a day and a half to 3 days. So from this point, a day and a half would be about nine candles. So right here. And then 3 days would then be 18 candles, which would be all the way out over here. So sometime between I would think now and the 23rd, so sometime between now and tomorrow, a little bit halfway through the day there, or perhaps as late as Tuesday, we should start to see some higher prices. I would think we consolidate between now and tomorrow, and then on late Sunday or Monday/Tuesday, between late Sunday to Tuesday, we should be moving up higher, okay? And when we do move up higher, oh, this is so fun. So fun to talk about moving up higher. When we do move up higher, the expectation there would be that we interact with the 382. And what perfect sense that makes, right? Look at the 382. We have a little bit of support down in this area. You disrespected it a little bit, of course. Found direct support right here. Direct resistance right here. You have like a shelf of resistance for about a month there. Yeah, it's perfect. I think that's exactly where we're going to go. Right above this point of resistance as well. It's like right there. So 0, where is that? That's, of course, it's right by 1 cent as well. So 0.095, that's the target to assume right now. We're at 0.062. So Swiftcoin pumping 30% today, that's nice, that's fun, but you've probably got another anywhere from like 56 to probably like a 70% pump. I doubt if we get above 1 cent, I doubt we get too much above it. It's very common to wick above the 382, so don't get too excited if we do wick above there. Likely we wick, we come back, we find support, and then we move up higher at a later date. But this is the first step. You've interacted with the 236. This is the first step to the road of recovery, getting back to 1.7 cents, 2.1 cents. Once you get above there, man, you're home free. We're thinking about new all-time highs. I absolutely believe that Swiftcoin will see new all-time highs. You still have higher low structure, right? This would be bad if the rest of the market wasn't dumping. If the rest of the market was pumping, we'd have a different conversation here, okay? But because of the events that have taken place over the past month and a half with the rest of the market, you still have a higher low. You still look productive overall. This is not a bearish structure. This is, but this is not. And then Swiftcoin's whole existence before this was like very consistent accumulative phase here as well. I would think that we do see new all-time highs. I don't know when. Maybe by the end of the year. Maybe it's February. I don't know. But the minimum target assumed here would be about a 15x all the way up at about 9.5 cents to about a 23 cent target at about 37x growth. Okay. Anything and everything in between is fair game. And I do believe Swiftcoin will see higher prices than even 23 cents by the end of the cycle when things are all said and done. Likely to see prices that are around $1 or more. Right? We could see $1.25 or beyond. We really could go all the way up to $3 too. I know it's crazy, crazy growth, but Swiftcoin they're the definition of a project that even in the turmoil, they're still working, they're still building, they're doing things, right? From a fundamental standpoint, the value has only gone up while the price has gone down. It doesn't make sense, but in time, fundamentals outweigh the short-term stuff, right? The true price will shine through. Anyways, I've got nothing else for Swiftcoin. Let's move on. Let's talk about what was the next one? MoonWell. Talk about MoonWell here. MoonWell is also pumping today. We're up 27% this week, up 46% today. What a nice voluptuous pump we're seeing here. Unfortunately, we have broken serious structure. Unfortunately for MoonWell, unlike Swiftcoin, you have broken out of serious structure. You've put in lower lows, significant lower lows on a macro scale. On the bright side, you do have what seems to be a standard ABC correction. It literally looks perfect. I didn't even draw it all the way, right? It looks perfect. It couldn't be better. As far as new highs go, I'm a little timid to call for that now. Let's wait until we are above 4.5 cents before we start talking about that again. But as far as recovery goes, sure, I think there's going to be some recovery here. From a high to a low, the expectation would be something of, probably at least around 2.1 to 2.4 cents. If and when you can get above 4 cents, 4.8 cents, when you get above this golden ratio zone, this high point here, when you get above there, then it becomes more acceptable, I think, to consider 23.5 cents to 60 cents as new all-time highs, which are very possible targets. It's a 19x from here to a 49x from here. We could absolutely see that sometime in 2026. Early 2026 too. I'm going to mute my computer because that's the second time it's made a noise in this video, so it's just annoying. So many noises, so many little tiny noises. Let's see here. Looking at the short-term stuff for well. Let's get Coinbase on here where we've got some volume. That's a good bit of volume, guys. That's a really good bit of volume. Yeah, that ain't bad. A lot, pretty damn high on the RSI, stochastics as well. Again, I would advise caution, right? Don't FOMO here. But this is likely the beginning of something more to come as days go on. We are at a point here where we found resistance before. So again, do anticipate some volatility, okay? Whatever it might look like. I would think that if, let's just pretend for all intents and purposes that this is the high. If it's higher, then all these lines move up, so then we won't move down as low as I'm talking about. But if this is the high, we likely would pull back to somewhere around 1 cent, which makes sense. Psychological support, it's the 382. Even if we move up a little bit, it's still basically right there at the 382, and it's common to wick just below the 382. So 1 cent really should provide support. Somewhere between about, let's say 0.0095 and basically 1 cent on the dot, somewhere in that area. That's where we should move down and find support. So if you're ecstatic right now and you want to FOMO into MoonWell, let me encourage you to pump the brakes. We're probably going to get about a 15% drop. Anything from like maybe a 13 to a 17% drop from here. And then likely we do continue moving higher. There's not a whole lot to go off of with these indicators, unfortunately. With the daily time frame, there is some bullish divergence. You've seen that move come to play. Bullish divergence on the MACD and the stochastics as well. You've seen that move come to play with the weekly indicators, and we should probably be on a all-time history chart, not just the Coinbase chart. You're bouncing right off the oversold zone. Again, there are a lot of positive things going on here, but just looking at this chart overall, this break, it's not the break of this line that concerns me, right? This is okay. It's the break of this low and this low that concerns me. That's the one that's the things that concern me there, right? Because this is serious structure. This took from April 24th, sorry, April 1st, since the end of March in 2024 until September in 2025, you were holding this structure, and you've recently broken that. That's a long time to form a consolidation phase and then break it. That's not a small feat, right? This isn't just something that you do and then you expunge. Maybe, probably not. You are finding support at your golden ratio, which is nice. But as far as calling for new all-time highs go, I've given you the target areas to consider, but I'm not even thinking about prices above here until we get above here. Okay. For all we know, this could just be a standard retracement back to 2.7 cents, 1.8 cents, somewhere in this range. We find resistance and we're working our way down. We could be in a lower low, lower high trend. Okay. Even if the rest of the market goes up, that's the thought too, guys, is that a lot of people will assume that their coins, just because they're pumping, that they're going to pump with the rest of the market. They might pump on the relief rally alone, but that doesn't mean that they're going to join the bull market. We could still see a continued bear market for any of these coins that we're talking about here. It's on you to be apprehensive and to be aware of where these key areas are that confirm that you're in a bull market or a bear market. And for me, it would be, if we confirm a lower high and then we come back down below these lows, that would make me think that we likely take out that low, and there's no denying it at that point. You're in a bear market. Yeah, might be past denying at this point even. We'll see. But I do believe that we can at least move back up to something around 2 cents or higher, personally, from here. Anyways, there's that. Let's talk about XYO and then wrap this up. Okay, XYO USD. Also with a nice pump. XYO, well, I kind of missed it, didn't I? Whenever I was looking at this before I started this video, I swear we were up higher. Let's just see, 15-minute time frame. Oh, I guess not. Maybe I'm thinking of something else then. Nope, I guess not. We're here, but that's okay. XYO is very prone to this, right? I mean, we see since April 25th here, just consistent wicks to the upside. So it's no surprise that that's what's happening here. That doesn't mean that this isn't a low. It could be a low and it's something that we build from, right? I very much wouldn't be surprised at all if that was the case. We look at the 1 hour time frame here. Again, these indicators, I mean, they look absurdly bullish. They're not really going to help us out too much because we're just so overbought. A little bit of volatility might be implied with that, right? 4 hour time frame looking at this, very bullish as well. Looking to cross above the zero here, but some volatility. I would say we probably do for XYO. I mean, we're already pulled back a good bit. We're at 6.006 right now. I would think that we pull back to 0056 to 0054. Maybe even all the way down to 005 itself. I doubt that we put in a lower low at this point. I am doubting that. That's a lot of volume. It's a lot of volume, man. We haven't seen volume like that in quite some time. It's been since July, right? We still saw lower lows after that, right? Actually, we had higher lows. For quite a time, actually, we did have higher lows, even here. So again, this really could. This is the only time since April, since the drop, that we actually put in a higher low and another higher low. That we actually had a consistent higher low trend. So just saying that, with the amount of volume we have here, this is the last time that we saw volume of any kind of comparable magnitude to what we have here. We probably do start to work our way up over time, but don't expect it to just be like this, right? Daily time frame. Now that I've accepted that we probably do find support here, very ugly daily RSI. You're at the same areas that you typically find resistance at. Typically in areas like this where you want to break out, you'd like to see a break above this, but I wouldn't be surprised if what we did was we found resistance here, we pull back, and instead of going to the oversold zone like we did every other time, here we'll do something different. We'll find support at the 40 and then move up. Different behavior will get different results. That's my assumption. Okay. Typically that's what we see. Stochastics are suggesting we go higher. We can consolidate a little bit in the process of going higher. It doesn't have to be immediate. And the MACD doesn't look good, just to be fair. But the other two look bad as well, but with prospects of going higher. The MACD, we're not really getting anything off of that yet. Okay, looking at the weekly time frame, higher lows overall. Yes, you broke this low, but you still hold your higher lows, right? This is a good look. This looks like you're just in a giant megaphone pattern. Maybe it's not even, it's a broadening pattern. It's not a megaphone. Megaphones are lower lows and higher highs. This is higher lows and higher highs. But a giant, massive accumulative phase here. Very volatile nonetheless. Yes, you took out this low, but you're still higher than your macro lows, right? It's a little different than MoonWell. We're on Coinbase. Let's look at the all-time history. So we take last cycle's high, the 21st of November, to the bear market low. I don't like that we've broken below the 236. I will say that, but Just because I don't like it doesn't mean that that's a bad thing. I mean, hell, we broke through the 236 here. I wouldn't have liked that back there either, and we still went higher to the 786. If this trend prevails, we should be then moving up to about 5.7 cents and beyond. I am on board with calling for new all-time highs for XYO. I do believe XYO can see prices at or above $1 by the end of this cycle. We're barely above half a cent right now. The minimum target for a new all-time high by the end of the cycle would be anywhere from about a 35x to potentially 100x. And if we go to above $1, we really could see like $1.60, $2.34. We could see a multi-100x here for XYO. I'm more under the opinion that we stop somewhere between 234, $1.60 at the highest. We probably don't go above that. And at the lowest, somewhere between 20 cents and 65 cents. Okay. But here we are at about $0.006 right now. We've got a lot of growth to go. I don't really have anything else that I want to say, so I'll probably end it there. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Okay, take care of yourselves, and good job, and congratulations to everybody who is appreciating the gains, or at least hopefully some of the returns that are coming back from these low levels with these pumps that are happening today. We're going to see the market start to recover. There's going to be some hope and some faith coming back into the markets, and that's going to be fun. But what we do after that is going to be important, because this pump that we're going to see across the board probably over the next couple of weeks. And I say across the board, maybe not Bitcoin, maybe not Ethereum, but with various altcoins, that's just going to be a lower high. We need to then provide a higher low and establish that we are not in a bear market and move up higher. That's what we need to do. So enjoy the rallies while they come. The real tests probably will happen in December or January, as far as are we in a bear market or not. I don't think we're in a bear market. I think we're in a bull market. But again, there's some proving to that to do, right? I'm very confident that we're in a bull market, but I'm not a fool. I'm not blind. There are a lot of signals that could be suggesting that we're in a bear market. We just haven't seen anything, in my opinion, that's definitive yet. A couple of things, but not a plethora of things. If, in my opinion, there's more things suggesting we have more to go, rather than pulling back from here. But again, the real test will be had soon enough, but not now. Hit the like button, subscribe, take care. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.